Goalkeepers, nervous strikers, they'll deliver. Crowd roars erupted, you can feel the quake. 80,000 voices.
The Nigerian football fans and football fans everywhere, you're welcome to the show. So in today's video, talking about some transfer news, and Arsenal, it seems they're going to do it. Like Viktor Gyokeres, the Swedish Sporting Lisbon striker, very close to a move to Arsenal. And according to reports from Portugal, he is willing to forego 2 million euros in terms of salary demands to just make the move happen. So he's doing all he can from his own end of things to ensure that the move to Arsenal happens. Now for me, I've been saying this, if Arsenal does this, if they are able to do this, then that's a massive coup for them. That means they've solved their number one problem. Because I said it going into last season, and even at the end of this season, I said it. I said, Arsenal and Chelsea, they have a primary need, which is the striker. So, wing back, full backs, midfielder, whatever, a striker has always been the primary need for Chelsea and Arsenal. I think Arsenal now have gone a long way. If they see this over the line, if it's all done, signed, sealed, and delivered. Transfer insider Fabrizio Romano has said, "Here we go" will be very soon, and we know what that means when it actually becomes "here we go." But I've seen a lot of things in football to know that nothing is done until it's actually done, until it's signed, until you see Viktor Gyokeres, Arsenal fans, holding that red and white shirt with the number at the back, probably standing next to Beta and Mikel Arteta. Maybe. Then when you see that, then you know it's happened. But if Arsenal are able to do this, then I think they would have got their problem solved. But Chelsea, on the other hand, you should have signed Viktor Gyokeres. He was there, a layup. You didn't sign him. Because for me, my issue with Chelsea, just like the issue I had with Arsenal, you need a striker. Chelsea needs an experienced, ready-to-go striker. Sort of strikers that wake up from sleep and then wash your face and score 25 goals a season. That's the kind of striker Viktor Gyokeres is, and that's the sort of striker I was hoping Chelsea would get. But not talking about Chelsea at the minute. So Arsenal fans want to know how you're feeling about it. How excited are you about, the impending transfer of Viktor Gyokeres from Sporting Lisbon to your club, 27 years old, right into his prime, scoring goals for fun, scored at Coventry, went to Sporting Lisbon, scored tons of goals, gone to then the Champions League as well under, ironically, Manchester United present coach Ruben Amorim, scored tons of goals in the Champions League. I'm sure Pep Guardiola and Man City can attest, to the absolute demolition job he led on them. So, happy days if you're an Arsenal fan. For me, like a Chelsea fan, absolute annoyance. Because obviously I don't want Arsenal to do well. And I think Viktor Gyokeres was the striker that Chelsea could have been able to get. But overall, Arsenal fans, how you feeling? I seen some things on X where people are saying he'll be a flop. He only can play in transition. Well, you can make that argument, but given the way football is right now, especially in the Premier League, it's more of horse see, horse do type thing. As opposed to the era when teams could sit back. Now, every team, even teams that just gain promotion from, the Championship, even teams in League 2 want to play out from the back, want to pass out from the back, want to high press. So when you high press, what the consequence of pressing high up is that you win the ball high up and you score goals that way, or you get balls played in behind you and you're hit on the break, and the opposition in offensive transition are able to cause your team harm. So I think Gyökeres would actually thrive in would thrive in the Premier League. And for me, I'm not going to be one of those childish fans or childish Chelsea fans that will rate the player when it seems like your club will sign him, and then when a rival goes to sign that player, then you start acting like the player is not good enough. He is indeed good enough, and for Arsenal, if he's able to make that move, then I think that brings them closer to Liverpool. So just some opinions in the comment section, let me know. And whilst you're doing that, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, click notification bell so you're notified each time a video goes on this channel, whether it's a video such as this one or a live stream. So let's go straight into the next topic. Now we're talking about Ola Aina, the Nigerian Super Eagles right back, one of the best right backs in the world, best right backs in Europe. He's extended his contract with Nottingham Forest, so that puts paid to every other sort of transfer links. For me, I was of the opinion that given the fact that Rich James is one of the best right backs in the world, no doubt, when he is fit, I was looking at it from the standpoint of, since he's rarely fit, or since he's more injured than fit, I'll not mind having an Ola Aina in the building. But he's signing a contract extension with Nottingham Forest. That's good for him. That means he's committed his future to Nottingham Forest for the next 3 years. I just hope he has a nice and tidy release clause, because who knows. But I'm sure Nottingham Forest will be happy about that. So want to know your opinions about that in the comment section. And for me, I think this is positive news from a Nigerian perspective of it. Oh yes, I must speak from Nigerian perspective in certain issues. Now, it's good that he's indeed secured his future, so he doesn't have to think about any other thing apart from his football for Nottingham Forest, and as well for the Nigerian Super Eagles. You have the World Cup qualifiers coming up. You have the AFCON itself coming up later on this year. So let's see. So that means he comes in head fully cleared and ready to go. So good news for Ola Aina, former Chelsea graduate. Now, the next topic to talk about is Carney Chukwuemeka, another Nigeria-eligible midfielder that is still on the books of the of Chelsea, but has been on loan to Dortmund, and Dortmund. The feelers from Dortmund is that they have been negotiating with Chelsea, looking to keep him at the club for at least 1 more year. So for me, because the way it is right now, if I was the coach of Chelsea, if I was Enzo Maresca, I would say, no, you're not having him on loan. You bring him back, because I think he's one of those players that can play centrally and give Cole Palmer that support. But for whatever reason, Enzo Maresca doesn't really rate him. A lot of Chelsea fans don't really rate him. Whatever the reasons are, this is not the video to discuss that. So if he's not being rated by Enzo Maresca, if he's not going to play under Enzo Maresca, then I think it's best he stays at Dortmund, has that 1 more year extension, the loan agreement extended for 1 more year. He goes there, he plays, and really comes into his own. And hopefully you make that decision, Carney Chukwuemeka. I know you watch these videos, even if you don't. But Renew, I would like you to switch to play for Nigerian Super Eagles, because there's something he brings that I've been saying this time and time again. Is a problem, it's an issue that Nigeria seems to have. Wingers always produce wingers. Strikers, tons of strikers. Defensive midfielders, always. Centre backs, always. But when it comes to producing those 10s behind the lone striker, behind 2 strikers, or a striker pairing, you always have this issue of lack of depth. So I think he would really contribute a lot to, the Nigerian Super Eagles if he doesn't make that switch. But on the other hand, I hope this move to Dortmund in terms of the loan deal is finalized, and he indeed gets to play for Dortmund from the start of the season. I think that would really be nice. And for me, it was a bit strange that Chelsea didn't include that as part of the deal to get Jamie Bino Gittins from Dortmund. No, they've completed the signing. It's surprising that they didn't add that as part of the deal. Maybe have him on loan to reduce the pricing, but I guess with PSR, clubs are acting differently this time around. So, but hopefully it works out, because I want to see him play, I want to see him thrive, because he's a phenomenally talented player. Just want to see him have that game time, and I hope that gives the Nigerian head coach Eric Chill, the NFF, opportunities to look at these players and hopefully get him to, switch to his national team allegiance to Nigerian Super Eagles. So, and now I want to talk about one more player, and he's Lesley Ugochukwu. Lesley Ugochukwu, remember him? Chelsea signed him from Rennes in France, and came to Chelsea, was low, didn't get. He played a couple of games, played in some friendly games, and I think especially that game in Stamford Bridge against Inter Milan. So he looked fairly okay, and then he was sent on loan to Southampton. And for me, I think he really impressed. He's one of those players that went out on loan and actually understood the assignment of the loan. Andre Santos, for one, is one of those you could have in that category, and I think Lesley Ugochukwu is another one, that was in that category as well. Went to Southampton, absolute boss in midfield, showed what he could do, putting stellar performance after stellar performances. But for whatever reason, maybe he's another one that Enzo Maresca, for whatever reason, doesn't rate. And this video is not a video where I'll be talking about Enzo Maresca, who he rates, who he doesn't rate, what's wrong with his system, why you play a fullback in midfield. This is not the video. But meanwhile, you can also check up Chelsea TV. Is a channel where I talk about just Chelsea related stuff. So back to Lesley Ugochukwu now. So the talk is Chelsea are looking to sell him, not interested in a loan, but the likes of Valencia are interested in his services. So for me, if that deal is really concrete, I would say Lesley Ugochukwu, make that move, go to Valencia, because there you get to play in a more technical league. And let's face it, I know Valencia, they've dropped off for the past years now, but they're still, a top club, prestigious club of high repute. If you go there, perform well, you get offers as well from other clubs, even if Chelsea decides not to retain you, or who knows, you go there and perform really well, and Chelsea could say, okay, we see the error of our ways, now you can be part of this team. So want to know your personal opinions of all I've talked about today. So Viktor Gyokeres, is he a player that you are happy and excited to seeing your team as Arsenal fans? Is he a player you really want to see? And then Carney Chukwuemeka, Chelsea fans, are you happy with the fact that he possibly could be going back on loan to Dortmund? Are you happy with that piece of business? And then Ola Aina extending his contract with Nottingham Forest. What do you think about that? Nottingham Forest fans and fans of Nigerian Super Eagles as well. What do you think about it? Do you think maybe he should have moved to a Champions League club? But then again, it depends on interest. If you have clubs will be interested in you, you can't sign yourself now. So just opinions on that, I would like to know. So I've come to the end of this video, and like I always say, to have a splendid rest of your day. Stay well, stay blessed. Bye bye.